Hello, and welcome to Paths to Success in Dentistry. I'm your host, Dr. Mini, your trusted guide in the dental world. In this episode, I am joined by Dr. Leo, a current student at University of Pacific. Together, we dive into what it takes to succeed in the UOP admissions interview, discussing strategies and tips to help you stand out. We also talk about the unique aspects of studying dentistry at UOP and why you should consider the school for your journey. Finally, Dr. Leo shares exciting insights on the newly opened Sacramento campus. You won't want to miss this. Let's dive in. Thank you. Thank you for doing this session today, Doctor. I'm so excited. So I met Dr. Leo during the European Impression Conference, and I knew he was such a great inspiration. And I remember talking to him like 10 minutes, and he had so much to share. So I can't wait for him to speak here. And today's session will be wonderful, I'm sure, like people who have received invite from UOP and those who want to apply to UOP for the next cycle.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, of course. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to help, to talk, and most importantly, now it's time for you guys to shine and be the next student leaders and students like us who are about to graduate. We want to share all our, experience, wisdom, and everybody, so they can, carry on the legacy and beyond for sure. So thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this for sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so in today's session, we'll go over the school. We'll learn more about UOP and its curriculum. And by the end, we'll talk about the interview process and everything. We'll also go over the questions. You guys can post it in the chat box, and we'll go over it in the end. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, Doctor, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your profile, and everything?
I know this is $1 million question, right? But what's the profile? Well, first myself, and then of course after that journey. So I'm like everybody else. I'm the international foreign trained dentist from Pakistan, and actually, you guys are not going to believe it, but I am a graduate of 2007 from Karachi, Pakagi University. So just like everybody else, I graduated. Then I did my house job 1 year, 2008, and then started my private practice 2 years. And then I was working as a demonstrator, which is the equivalent of lecturer here in the oral surgery department for 2 years. And around 2010, 2011 was the time when I was decided, okay, I want to come to US. I want to, do the DDS, this thing that everybody talks about. But, you know, after that I came, which I'm going to, of course, tell you guys, but 2012, I came here, applied to Rochester AGD program, and then got denied. And that's where the whole thing started, and after that I went back to my country, and we were like, you know what, it doesn't, like everybody tells you all the time, oh, it's okay, it's not the end of the world, you're pretty set well here, it's not like, if America didn't work out, it's okay, not the end of the world. But you have to tell yourself. And I remember one of my brothers back, who's in Australia right now, he's also a dentist, younger brother, he told me the same thing, like, if you're going to give up now and you're going to do something else, maybe not 10 years, maybe not in 20 years, but maybe in 30 years, there will be one time when you will regret the decision you will do today. So just keep applying, keep doing. And that made me realize, okay, like, you know what, I'm going to give it another shot. But we all know how difficult this journey is. For me, it took me 10 years to finally get into the program. So I'm telling you and sharing all these things with you guys so you understand, that you're not alone. You understand that there are people out there who have been getting a lot of rejections, and no one's perfect. And most importantly, the most important question that everybody asks is, there's no perfect profile. So I know we all love comparing ourselves to our fellow classmates and colleagues, right? We always like, oh, well, I have a master's. I didn't get an admission. Somebody else has a master's. They got it. Or I don't have a master's, but somebody have a master's. So that means, you know what? I need to do a master now. And this is where what I learned in the last 6 to 7 years, applying to schools again and again, getting rejections again and again. And I learned it the hard way that there's no perfect profile. Well, I did a course with Dr. Stevenson, A lot of people know this Dr. Stevenson here. And when we asked him the same question, like, what's the perfect profile? Like, what do the dental schools need? And he said, when he was in UCLA admissions department, it's so sad, but it's true, but so sad that at one point, it's not even about the profile. It's about your luck. Sometimes the admission committee is, they have all these, applications in front of them, and they are like, well, last time we did this S Sana Sabir, so this time let's do N Nadir. All right, here we go. So this happens. I promise you, it's not you. Promise you, it's not your profile. It's not your application. But of course, we'll talk during the whole session of how to improve it. What are the nuances where you can improve a little bit here and there, some SOB, some CV. But what I'm gonna keep telling you guys, again, just like me, it took me 10 years from Pakistan, did a lot of things, and finally I'm in the program and gonna be graduating in inshallah in eight months. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Great, great. So you had a good support system. Your brother probably pushed you to, pursue it, and you were so determined to do it.
Just to tell you a little bit about my journey, so you know exactly my profile. I did my MPH 2012 to 2014, and then after 2014, I worked in a medical office, not dental office, totally different, a medical gastroenterology office as office manager. And at that time, just wanted to get some experience, get bills to pay and all that. 2016, that was still the time when NBDE Part 1 and Part 2 was going on. I started applying and started preparing for it. And I failed first time. And then I failed the second time. And then 2019, I failed the third time. And at the time, I was like, man, I mean, if I cannot do NBDE, that's it. I probably should put my dream of becoming a dentist in the dustbin. And then a couple of colleagues, they talked to me and they're like, hey, if you're working 9 to 5 job, and then once you come home and you're doing an hour or two for NBD, that's not going to cut it. You have to quit your job. You have to study all day. So 2019 is when I quit my job. I studied all day for 3 months, I would say 3 to 4 months. And then I passed my Part 1 and then eventually Part 2 during the COVID. I started working as a dental assistant like everybody else, 2 years, worked as an ortho assistant 1 year. And after that, the COVID happened. So of course, everything was shut down. So I decided to do something because at the time, if you're not doing it, you have this gap in your CV that the schools don't like. So you have to show them that, you're interested. And there are only so many CEs you can do. You cannot just do CEs for 6 months. That's when I found out about this preceptorship program at University of Kentucky. Now I know UCLA, USC, they all are the top preceptorships that everybody wants to work for or talk about. But this is why I'm telling you guys this. It doesn't matter which preceptorship it is. I found it in the very podunk little town in Kentucky, but it was still a dental school. I got a preceptorship in Perio for 6 months. And after 6 months of preceptorship, then I decided to go to Florida and do the dental hygiene program.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure you guys know about the hygiene program, right? So as a foreign print dentist, if you pass your INBD, you can sit Florida dental hygiene program and pass the dental hygiene exam, the CDCA, the Florida law, and after that you can work as a dental hygienist in Florida. And by the time all of this was happening, I was getting rejections and rejections and rejections. I have a video on my Instagram too, where it's a rejection, and total I think 59 rejections I've gotten. So
Wow.
UOP 61st, like after 60 rejections, 61 was the acceptance. So when people tell me and my friends and I get DMs all the time, hey, I'm not getting in. My first question is, how many rejections have you gotten? And they always say 4, 6, and then I tell them about myself. I was like, it's part of the game. In fact, some universities, you're not going to believe it, they, after first year, if you apply as a re-applicant, they want you because now they know that you applying again shows your perseverance, shows your attitude, shows your mindset that you're not going to give up. So those are the things that, I want you guys to do too. Don't worry about the rejections, part of the program, part of the life. Just keep applying, keep going until you get in.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing about your failures. Like, not everyone would openly talk about the attempts, and I receive a lot of message where people ask, like, would having attempts affect my chances of getting acceptance? What's your view on that?
Yes and no. It all depends on the university, right? So some colleges, yes, they don't want any attempts, but there are some colleges who don't, or who do, right? So there are some schools out there, UOP, Colorado, and I think there's one more. I think it's Chicago. Um, they look at the broader picture and they look at the whole profile. They just don't follow one GPA. So there are schools out there, there are programs out there who look at the big picture. They're like, okay, well, sure, you have a 3.1 GPA, but I mean, in the end of the day, if you are a student who wants to learn, who's teachable, then that's it. That's all they want, because they don't want a 4.0 GPA, and then they come to school, and now the faculty is teaching you something, and now the student is like, oh, this is not how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do how I've been doing for the last 10 years or 15 years. They don't want that. That's when the faculty from the clinic goes upstairs to the academic department and be like, why did you give this, this student admission who's not even teachable? So
Yeah.
they would prefer someone who's teachable, who's hardworking, who wants to learn. Even with 2.8 GPA, they prefer them over a 4.0 GPA who's not teachable. Same is the case with attempts too. My UOP interview, the first question was my attempt. So it's an yeah, it was an open book, right? So of course the first question was, why should we take you? You have 3 times you failed. And my my answer was, exactly, that's why you should take me, because the fourth time I never gave up and I apply again. So that shows you, if I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna start again and I'm gonna try again. So this is all about the perspective, how you sell yourself, how you are, right? Let's
Yeah.
be honest. Yamini, dental school is not easy, right?
Yeah. True.
It's
True.
one of the toughest things I've done in my life. Let's be honest. And in dental school, everyone gets the hard days, the difficult days. Everyone gets those failures. Every student will get those times where you just sit in the car, cry, or come home and you're stressed out.
Mm.
But it's all about how you react to it, and the next day you get up and do it again.
Right.
And the kind of mindset they want in the schools. So once again, let me repeat it. It's not your profile. It's not how many attempts you have, or how much GPA you have. It's your overall personality. How are you? Like, yes, you have a 4.0 GPA, and yes, you have no attempts. You have passed in the first attempt. Very good. But after that, what have you done? Have you been keeping up with the CE courses? Have you been keeping up with the dental schools? Have you been keeping up with the hands-on courses out there, or the updates with the dental school? Most importantly, um, dental school, they're going to tell you to make the same MO and DO and the crowns and all that. So how's your hand overall? Those kind of things matter too. So what I'm saying is, if there's a school that you want to apply, find out more about that school, what they want, what do they not want, what kind of students they have. Now, there's someone who asked in the chat, could you tell us which all schools offers preceptorship program for foreign trained dentists? This is the problem with foreign trained dentists. I wish there was a list where you click and it tells you all the schools that you take you, all the schools that, unfortunately, there's no list. But what we have is an internet called google.com, right? So this is what I used to do. And I want you to do the same thing. You know that CAPID page, once you click on it, there's like a list of 54 schools. You click on one school, one by one, and then you go in the program, and you go on the perio or the implant, and you look at the faculty or look at the program, what they offer. I can guarantee you, if you click on UCLA, for example, you click on the programs, it will tell you the DDS program, the implant program, the preceptorship, the internship. It will be over there. You have to get in the habit of start looking. No one's going to help you. No one's going to send you the perfect list. You have to make your own perfect list. Okay. So at one point when I was in the process of applying, and Yamini was too, we at one point remember all 53 schools, their requirements, what they want in TOEFL, what school programs they have. This is the kind of um, what do you say, the passion we want from you guys too. So there's no one set list. Of course, people will tell you those 4 schools have this program, 4 has this program. But like I said, until today, I'm sure nobody knew about the Kentucky preceptorship, right? But if you click on the Kentucky preceptorship, there's a preceptorship out there. What if I tell you that Kentucky preceptorship gave me a limited dental license to work on patients?
Wow.
That the other schools don't let you do it. They just let you stand and observe. But I actually put implants, CT grafts, bone grafts in patients too during my internship. So there are out there those programs. Of course, you have to Google it. You have to look for it. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Like research about the program, looking for opportunities. I used to keep doing that before, like what school is offering, what preceptorship, what program is new. So yeah, that definitely will help. Like I also have like DMs where people ask me, what's a dental hygiene school in Texas? And then they are in
Yeah.
Texas. And then
Yeah.
they're asking me, like, you just have to Google and see, look around.
So this is what I do. This is my favorite. Let me show you so you know what I'm talking about. The Instagram. So I use Instagram in a totally different way. I first follow the school, let's say USC Herman Osro, right? Then I go on the followers and following points, right? There are at least 2,000 students follow them. And then they keep posting pictures about the current class, right? So you have to just look for those clues. If the school is posting a new class, there are some pictures, there's like a student club fair, right? And most of the time, there are 4 or 5 people tagged on it. Now, here we go. Now you have USC, you have the current class, you have 5 to 7 people. All you have to do is just follow them and DM them, hey, my name is Leo. I'm interested in your school. I'm a foreign trained, dentist, and I'm interested. Tell me about your school. Is there, if that school is in your city, what if, you want to go and meet the students in person? So this is what I did. I contacted maybe more than 500 people. I promise you that's not a lie. But I literally commented and messaged everyone that I possibly can in the dental community. And out of those 500, 450 students did not reply to me, which is also very nice. That's totally fine, right? But the 50 did. And you need one response that can help you with your goal. So it doesn't matter. As long as, I mean, it's not, charging you any money, right? All you have to do is like, hello, how are you? I'm a student. I'm interested in your program. If they're not going to reply, move on to the next person. But if they do help you out and they respond to you, that's it. That's now you have someone in the program. They are going to tell you exactly how the school is, what they want, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And so why did you select UOP, doctor?
To be honest, UP was the only school that got me in. So usually selections happen when you have more than 2 admissions. And then of course people always talk about, oh, why should I go to Vegas instead of UOP? This. I'm not saying that, I had no choice, because UOP is definitely one of those programs. When I found out about it, I was like, oh my God, really? UOP want me? Really? But I really got lucky. But I'm from Midwest. I'm from Chicago side, Chicago, St. Louis area. So of course, when I applied 3 years for Chicago, because that was my, school close to me. SIU was close to me. So, going from all the way from Chicago to California was too much. So preferably I would have been, in the Midwest. But sometimes these things doesn't work out, right? If you have a call from California, you go to California. And that's what I tell everybody too when they ask me about, okay, what do you think about University of Las Vegas? I always ask them, how many invites you have? And they're like, oh, I don't have any. I was like, well, then this is all like, time wasting about like, okay, how's the tuition, or 250K and 300K. Right now, you should be focused on getting into a program. And of course, if you have 2 or 3 programs in your hand, then of course you can always go on and compare them. And then depending on the demographic or finances or faculty, teaching, all that, you choose. But I would say that, coming to UOP has been life-changing. I have learned so much from the faculty, from the students, from the mentors, from the program, that I could have never asked for a better school. And in every aspect that I have been wanting my schools to be, UOP has always been one step above that. We have a question in the chat. Like someone says, I think Samart, I'm a young fresh dentist, graduated last year. I have an interview call from UOP. What are the expectations from the interviewers on this perspective? So I'm sure a lot of people who are in this chat have a call from UOP. First of all, congratulations. It's a very big step to get an interview call. And I just want to tell you guys that now, just, when you interview, be yourself. And I know everybody keeps saying the same thing, be yourself, but I mean it. We have the strict policy of not letting the students know what the interviewer is, because then what people do is they start researching the faculty. So they started last year where until the day of the interview, you would not know the interviewer, because they want you to not research about it. And then when you research about it, when you come in prepared, it sounds very like, like monotonic. It's not an interview anymore. It's more like you're on a television, you're a newscaster. And then the interview is just like one-sided. All I would say is at this point, just be yourself and just be confident, because at this point you're in the program. They already scrutinize your documents and CV and SOP and all that, right? So they already like you on the paper. Now they want to see that the person is on the paper, how they are in real life. There's another, Kirtana is asking, there's a written assessment. How do you prepare for it? You cannot, because it's not related to dentistry at all. It's more like IQ based. So as long as you live in America, you speak English, or if you don't live in America, but you speak English or understand, that should be fine.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
So we'll go with the questions in the end, because I had like few questions about
of course.
And we'll discuss about the interview process in detail towards the end of the session, if that's okay.
100%.
Yeah. So coming back to UOP, so what sets UOP apart? Like, what's unique about the school?
I personally like UOP. Faculty is very nice. I personally think that they are very personal to you. You would not see any other school where the dean is walking by and call you with your first name and ask about how your parents are and how's everything in life going, and genuinely want to know. Like, it's not about like, hey, how are you? Okay, bye. It's actually stop and be like, hey, Leo, how's everything going? Last time I talked to you was a month or two ago, and how's family? How's school going? I hope you're not stressed out. And Thanksgiving is coming up, so wish you happy Thanksgiving or something. Do you have any holiday plans? No, I don't think any dean will take out time. And not just one student, every student. The faculty is also so genuine, close to you. They will actually teach you, they guide you in a way that they're just like they're your parents, and also the clinical aspect of UOP, that we love a lot, because especially us, a foreign trained dentist, we want to just go in the clinic and work and learn as much as possible. So they also know that too. And I think in just 6 to 8 months in the sim clinic, once we passed our practicals and everything, we had a very smooth transition to clinic earlier. And this year, the new class actually that came in, their transition has been even faster than how we were. So I think we started clinic 8 to 9 months during our first year. Now, new class, they have started coming to the clinic. It was like second quarter. So I would say 6 months, which is fantastic, because the more clinical work you will be doing, the more hands-on, guidance and experience you have, the better for us. So I would definitely put UOP's clinical significance to be on top.
And is there like a agenda or philosophy that UOP follows?
There's no such philosophy that UOP has, besides the fact that they want us to be kind. They want us to not just look at the tooth and be like, okay, this is number 9 and MO and DO. They want us to look at the bigger picture. They want us to look at the whole patient as a whole. And I think they keep training us again and again, because you do forget about it sometimes when you have requirements and clinical requirements, and you're always just looking for a certain tooth to fill so you can get the requirements done. That's when our faculty keeps reminding us that this is not what we want. This is not what we're here for. It's not about one tooth. It's about the whole person. So I would definitely say this is what from day one we have been trained to do so, like the humanistic approach.
Yeah, the hand heart philosophy. I remember
Yes, exactly. And heart and head.
head philosophy. Yes.
Correct. Yes.
And how is your class? Like, do you have freshers? Do you have experienced candidates? Like, how does your class demographics?
Yes, so it's all over the place. Somebody asked me this earlier too. Remember how we were talking about masters? If masters is important, Dr. Leo, you have a master's, so you're probably in the UOP because no. What if I tell you I'm the only 3 students out of my 27 classmates who have a master's? So no, it's not. It's about that. In my class, there's a singer, there's a dancer, there's a swimmer, national team. There's I think there's a student, she sings too. But people have masters, people have 12 years of experience. There's a endodontist, but there's also recent graduates from COVID. Uh, those students who never get to experience on actual patients. So it's a mix of everything.
Hmm.
And I think that's what a lot of schools go for too. They don't, and I think this is where people lag behind always. Okay, so interview call for this student A, and I was like, oh, student A had master, so I should definitely get a master. No, schools always want like a general mix of everything. So they already got a master's. Maybe now they don't want a master. They already got experience. Now maybe they don't want experience. They maybe want some younger students in. Now maybe add a specialist endodontist, maybe add an oral surgeon, and then mix of all that, and then they want you to grow together. Because that way, if there's any kind of case discussions happening, the experienced students are going to tell you from their experience, but that they don't know exactly what the recent research and studies saying. So the young students are going to actually help you what the recent studies are saying. Then someone who's a specialist from certain country will tell you a certain technique, but certain students who have not used that techniques but use the recent ones and research based, they will help you guide. So overall, it's a mix of everything.
And what kind of, like, since you already touched it a bit, what kind of a clinical program does UOP offer? Like, how many cases do you get to do? What's the curriculum like?
So the good thing is, UOP is definitely based on the quality. They have a minimum, like I think every school has minimum, like at least you do billing so you graduate. But every department wants us to do as much as possible, and we have enough patients that we have no problem in that. So if you want to work, then you will have enough time and patience that you can do a lot of stuff. I think UOP also have Mondays and Thursdays night clinic every week. So if you have Monday, I think it's a Google thing. So Mondays and Thursdays, if you do night clinic, that's an extra 2 days of clinic too, which is not mandatory, but highly, highly recommended because the faculty is there, the patients there, so that extra, clinic hours for you. So I have not heard anyone who, barely there's like a student or two who cannot complete their requirements. Everyone goes beyond their requirements.
And what kind of technologies do you use at UOP?
So we have a little bit of all the new technologies out there. We were one of the first classes who also did the 3D scanning models. So 3D scannings, iTero scanners, all the digital scanners, implants, CBCT, all that stuff. We have been practicing with that. I think the way it works is out of the 10 impressions for the crown, the first 4 you have to do the traditional way. But after that, you can move on to the digital scanning as well. And we also need 1 implant crown too. So that means we will be doing the implant impression and all that, besides the traditional too, which is very exciting.
Yeah. And what kind of resources or support system did UOP provide during your course?
So UOP, of course, there's faculty, but they also have the big SIP, little SIP program too. So every year, every student from first year will get associated with the second year IDS student. And then during that first year, if you have any issues, any questions, anything, any help that you need, you also directly ask help from your senior. They will guide you exactly how, because those are pretty much the same issues that the senior had when they were first year. They will actually help you. The first year is okay. This is how we did it. This is how you, because the software system, the Axiom learning, that is tricky in the first few months, and giving you some tricks and tips and how to deal with it. And then on top of that, with the faculty and the big SIB, there's also a tutor program too. So let's say after first quarter or something, you need a little extra help with certain subject. You have one of the best tutors from the senior class who did extremely well in that subject. You can actually request certain hours, certain sessions, who can actually teach you, who can guide you, and actually help you get better and excel in that subject too. So between the faculty, the big SIB, the little SIB, the tutor program, we always have some kind of help around.
That's nice. Does UOP offer leadership opportunities?
Yes, it's one of the most proud things that UOP does. We have a lot of leadership opportunities in the school. We have class leadership opportunities, president, vice president, historian. Then we have clinical ambassador, and those positions. And then we have national positions like California Dental Association, as the American Student Dental Association, and ADIA, which is American Dental Education Association too. So we all choose one representative for CDA as the ADIA. Then we have president, vice president. Then we have historian, clinical ambassador from the class, and then we have ASB, which is the overall school cabinet positions too. So one's from the class, one's from the school. So that includes the DDS and the IDS combined. And then you apply for those positions too. And then besides that, we have, I think, 54, maybe more than 54 clubs, dental clubs. Exactly. So then you participate in those clubs too. Aesthetic Dental Society, Dugoni Business Club, and then once you're part of those clubs, you can also get to meet certain speakers, certain doctors, and bring them to your school to get certain kind of courses or some lunch and learns and those kind of stuff too. So if you actually are leadership, I promise you will have enough opportunities that you will at one point will be overwhelmed. You'll be like, okay, that's too much.
Yeah, that's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah. But our dean, Dr. Nadashah, is all about that. He really appreciates those young guns to come out and take those opportunities out for sure.
Oh, that's wonderful. What about research?
We do have a couple of research programs. I'll be honest with you, we are not research heavy school. We are more clinical heavy school, but we have been incorporating a lot of more research last year, this year, where we have there's a 2-week program at the that's a university. I keep forgetting the name. Close to Sacramento. It's gonna come back to me. I'm gonna tell you, but it's that program. Then we have a separate program for if someone wants to specialize in endo, perio, or implant, and then of course the faculty themselves have certain research going on too, and so a lot of students actually can contact them and get part of those publications. And then we have a PIP project, which is a PIP project, where we, if you have presented a paper or you have presented a poster, then you incorporate it into like a research and thesis, and then eventually you can publish it too. So 2 years ago, not much opportunities. Last year we got more opportunities, and this year they're incorporating more and more.
Yeah, UOP also offers research assistant opportunity. If I'm not wrong, like 1 year. Yeah.
1 year, yes.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. What about externship?
Externship, I don't think we have with the dental school, but there's externship for not a whole 6 months or 1 year. But I do see some, students who actually come and work in the administration department.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you handle stress during dental school?
Oh man, why don't you tell me first, Yamini?
I'm yet to start, so yeah.
I know, right? That's the thing. I mean, if someone tells you, "Oh, I don't get stressed from dental school," that's a lie. We all get stressed a lot, but it is one of those things. You have to. This is what my mantra is. I do everything that makes me happy, and I want to hang out with people, my friends and family who who don't drain my energy, but actually, give me all the energy that I want. So whenever I'm stressed, like, hang out with my wife, my parents, my friends, that's always good. I mean, of course, UCSF and UOP are in San Francisco. So we have a lot of places to go out and hiking and mountains and beaches, which I'm really fond of. I live close to Daly City, which is Pacifica side. So I'm 4 minutes away from the ocean beach. So that's my favorite outing. Like, after school, I come home, and before I actually start my homework and everything, I just go for a long drive sometimes, enjoy the sunset, take all the nature in, relax, and then I come back as like a new person. The one thing I would recommend, I'm sure you will agree with me too, that whatever happens that day, I know some days are more stressful. In the end of the day, once that day is done, don't take all the stress on you. Just focus on the next day, basically, what I'm trying to. Because even if it's the worst day or the bad day you had with the patient or something, it was a very difficult procedure. I come home, I vent, talk about it, but the next day I go in and you start again.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly. So that's what it is. The dental school is, you just go home, you recuperate, you recharge, and then start again.
Right. Yeah. So this year, UOP also has a Sacramento campus.
Correct.
So yeah, give us more information about that.
So I do I know a couple of people in Sacramento. The way it works is once you apply for UOP after the interview or before the interview, you will be getting an option if you want to go to Sacramento side or SF side. And if some students want to focus on SF, tell them you want to be in SF. And if some students, they want to be in Sacramento, just tell them, because some students were like, well, because there are three options: SF, Sacramento, I don't care. So some students are like, what if I write I don't care? And they'll be like, well, now, I don't have enough chances. No, don't worry about this. If you're in and you are getting interviewed, they like you. So in choosing the campus is actually your preference, and they want to help you with that. Some people live in Sacramento side, they have families over there already. They don't want to come to SF. Some people want to live in SF, they want to enjoy the San Francisco city vibe, they don't want to be in Sacramento. So school is just trying to help you. But of course, like, there are pros and cons. This is something where you have to take a piece of paper and write what you want. Because I mean, if you're gonna ask me, there are a lot of good things about Sacramento too. And not gonna lie, I've thought about going second year too. I was like, what if I want to move? But we were told once you start, you cannot move in the middle. So Sacramento is cheap. You can actually have a car over there. You have student housing, so you live next to your campus. You walk to your campus. It's a brand new sim lab and brand new school, and everything is new. So you get to use everything that's new handpieces, new instruments, new chair, new. I mean, it's so that's there. Then you have no competition with the patient, influx. I mean, the patient's going to come in. You're probably going to do the cleaning, but you're also going to be doing the implants, and you're going to be doing the endos, and you're going to be doing the extractions because there's no seniors. Or now, if the new batch is going to come in, the first class is going to become their seniors. But you get my point, right? As compared to in San Francisco, then we have a lot of classes where we are combined with DDS. So imagine 165 of the DDS, and then 27 of SF. So combined, now you have to divide everything. You have to share everything. So as compared to the Sacramento, is only 30 IDS students. That's it. There's no DDS.
Their faculty is different. Like they have their own set of faculty.
Yes, they have their own set of faculty. There's some, the clinical course directors. They have been kind of going back and forth, who have one lecture a week or something. But a lot of faculty has moved permanently to Sacramento from SF, and they have hired a lot of new administration staff too. And of course, just it's still new program, new school, and everything. So a lot of Sacramento students also kind of want to collaborate with the SF. We have been trying to do the same thing. It has, I would not say it's impossible, but it has been, it's been difficult in the sense that you cannot do it every week. We had a social where our IDS class invited the new IDS first year from Sacramento and San Francisco to have a social where we can talk and hang out. So a lot of Sacramento students actually came to SF to participate in it. So that's what we have been kind of wanting to do. Every time there's like a big event like Diwali or something, we want SF to Sacramento to come join and have like a mutual big program like that. But of course, on a every Tuesday we cannot have Sacramento people come in and join, or SF people go to Sacramento too. So they're still working on those nuances, and of course, next year is gonna get better and better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good option, like Sacramento for more clinical experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's all pros and cons, and then what do you want, right? So once again, don't get hung up on the Sacramento SF. Like I say, first get in the program, get your acceptance letter, then worry about these things.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll start talking about the interview process. So what is the interview style like for UOP?
So interview style is more like an open book. They'll have your statement, SOP, resume in front of them too, but they're very relaxed. They want to know, like I said, they want to know their actual person. So what I'm trying to say is, remember how I was saying earlier, the 4.0s and the GPAs, the TOEFLs, and all that. We get it now. Those 250 students have been collectively getting interviewed, right? But out of those 250, which is the one who is actually excited to come, who's teachable, who wants to learn, and genuinely a good person? When you go out on a date, how do you talk? The first time you meet someone, and how do you talk? Do you talk like, hi, my name is Dr. Leo. I'm from the 2007 graduate. I did my dentistry in this, and after that I did endo, and then I endo after perio, and perio, right? You don't talk like this. You talk like, hey, my name is this. I live in California, or I've never been to California. I'm looking forward to, after school, I'm looking forward to go to those national parks and beautiful beaches. I love a cat or a dog, and I like spicy food or Indian food or Pakistani food or French cuisine. And, I have hobbies. I like to color. I like to run. So this is the kind of experience I want you to have once you're interviewing. Don't focus on the dentistry part. That's already been taken care of. Now just be relaxed, confident, talk about yourself, and just have like a normal conversation.
Yeah.
That's what the UOP interview usually are. Very relaxed, very chill, very, the interviewer will make sure that you are, all that anxiety. It's like, relax. You come that far, tell me about yourself, those kind of questions.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, tell me about yourself. There's a debate. Should we answer it more professional? Should we answer it like personality wise?
So it depends. Some people want to go personal. Some people want to go professional. I personally think the professional side is already on the paper. I mean, they already know the professional side of you via SOP and CV. They don't know the personal side of you. So that interview is actually your chance of now you showcase your personal side too. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I believe like a little bit of professional, but then more towards like question what I like, what am I
Yeah, exactly. Don't go too deep into your personal life about like, oh, well, I hate my brother and my dad told me to become a dentist and I hate dentistry anyways. Don't say this. Okay, this is too personal.
Yeah. So, any tips on how to prepare for the interview?
To be honest, like I said, I'm gonna keep. I know I sound like a broken bell, but there's no such thing as those three things and you get in. It's just what I'm trying. I actually have a couple of students who are using my services too, which I'm going to tell you a little bit. I'm actually helping them and coaching them into how to talk during an interview, and those are the things where you have to just practice. So I would say best is to record yourself and then listen to it after, like a video recording. And then after a couple of times, you would know exactly how are you feeling, how are you talking, and what are the areas where you can fix and work better. And of course, I would also want you guys to practice the interview with your siblings, with your friends, with someone in your house, like wife, husband, and like 15 minutes. you have a one-on-one interview with them, and then they will actually tell you how your interview went. So those are things that I practiced with myself too. I always used to be in front of the mirror all the time.
Yeah, I did the same in front of the mirror, and I used my husband. I was like different rooms, and then we used to ask questions and practice. So
Yeah, exactly. And then of course, if you still, you're still want to know, like, okay, but what should I say? How should I say? How do I address certain questions? Then you can, of course, always DM me, and I'll explain to you depending on patient to person to person scenario, because everyone's a little different.
yeah, definitely reach out to Dr. Leo. He goes by Random Tooth Guy on Instagram. He's already popular. Everyone knows about him. So you can reach out to him for his interview services. So we'll go over the questions, Doc, now.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. So where were we? So, okay. Hi, Doc. I received an interview call from UOP, and I would like to know about the written assessment. What and how do we prepare for it?
Yeah.
You
So,
touched.
so for example, the 2 questions I remember from last when my written assessment was had nothing to do with the dentistry. You cannot prepare for it. It was about like, so Yamini and Leo decided to come meet up in a restaurant, but Yamini is in East Coast and Leo is in Midwest time zone. They decided to meet up at 9 o'clock. So who's gonna get there first, Yamini or Leo? So
Yeah.
they want to know. It's more like IQ question. They want to know, like, if do you understand the Eastern time zone and the Western time zone? And Eastern means they're 3 hours ahead of you, and Western is 2 hours behind. So if the Leo is in Midwest, that means they're 1 hour behind. So Yamini is going to get there first. Make sense?
Yeah.
And there
So
was another question, something about, like, I was like, what is, so if Sacramento is in north and San Francisco is east of Sacramento, and then Fremont is the south, then where would the Oakland be? Is it going to be the south of Sacramento, the west of Sacramento? So all you need to do paper, and once you write down the east, west, and all, and put on those, you can tell. But it's just, once again, it's one of those things where just basic IQ, because a lot of us come from different countries, and understanding the time zones and the east, the west. Because once we start working here, there's going to be a lot of things, in the same lingo, right? You have homework due at 12 p.m. PST. And what do you mean by 12? Or if the patient is going to tell you, hey, I live in like the south of San Francisco, do you actually know what south of San Francisco means? So those kind of.
So the next question is, what are the odds of getting an admit to a young grad?
Same 50-50 as a old experienced grad. Like I said, in my class, there are, I think, 5 to 6, I think 6, 7 young grads, like recently grad, who did not even work on patients. So 50,
Yeah. And how is the UOP Sacramento campus? I think we already talked about that. Yeah. I received
I love it though, like, because the UOP SF is all like a 5, it's a 7th floor building in the city. But Sacramento, like, it's like a proper college campus with grass and trees. And
Wow.
you're walking from library to this class, and you have like all these, like, people are sitting on the grass enjoying picnics and all that kind of stuff. Man, I really enjoy Sacramento a lot.
And there's no other dental school over there, if I'm not wrong.
In that area, there's a 7th dental school. Yeah, so California has 7 dental schools.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I received an interview from UOP and also from USC, with the bench day of USC clashing with UOP orientation day. How is
I
it?
I know about this, because I know a couple of friends. They applied. I mean, their significant other applied, and they got a call from both of them. I think they both the schools knew that this is going to happen. So how's the orientation day program like? Is it possible to combine both? The mandatory orientation is mandatory. So if you don't do the mandatory, that's like, given. So you know what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is you have to choose one.
Choose one, yeah.
Because I think the mandatory orientation UOP day is the day of USC bench test, the other side.
That's hard.
That's very hard, I know. So
Yeah.
I really hope you didn't pay for the bench yet.
Yeah. So does virtual interview lower our chance of acceptance compared to an in-person interview?
No, I used to think that too. but no.
Okay. Earlier, it used to be virtual, or was it still in
We,
person?
we were the last ones who got virtual interviews.
Oh, okay.
After that, we have one more batch, and now this one is the second batch. Is going to be in person.
In person.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. How is the virtual orientation conducted?
It's kind of just like how we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So I remember what happened was the orientation, certain people could go in person, and then they had this camera on with the Zoom on. And imagine if I start thinking like Zoom, and you're just walking around the whole school, kind of showing them around. And that's how I think 2 days they kind of showed us how the school is. But then the mandatory one, you had to be in person, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you share how UOP integrates research into the curriculum and what kind of opportunities are available where IDS students can get involved? I think we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah.
How much weightage is given to the written exam in the final admission decision?
I would not say it's weighted a lot. Definitely, they want to know the IQ level of certain students too, but it's not like a big. In my class, a lot of us did very, very bad. I remember we talked about this. I was like, oh my God, that was toughest written test. And sorry guys, I'm not gonna join you. This is too bad. And eventually we all got in. So yeah.
So is it suggested to bring anything in an interview like portfolio?
No, not really. Yeah, just bring yourself and positive vibes. That's all you need. Yeah. They already have everything that that was required from you.
So if given choice, which campus we choose, SF or Sacramento? It really depends on what
we talked about this.
Yeah.
It's not good or bad. Once again, faculty is the same, the school is the same, requirements is the same, studying is the same, class is the same. It's just different preferences. Now you have a choice. Like I said, being an SF and paying boatload of rent, if I have a choice to go and save some money, I might have.
Okay. Is degree obtained from UOP valid in all states of USA, or we can only work in California?
No. It's all 50 states. Of course, you cannot work in New York, but that's not UOP. Any DDS cannot work. You have to do AGD or GPR in order to work in New York. But the other 49 states, after DDS from UOP, you can go straight.
Okay. So is there a state licensure exam like that we have to write for each state that we want to go?
So that's something where we were just talking about this. It used to be like this, but now apparently the ADEX is taken over. So after ADEX, you don't have to do the state licensure anymore. It used to be like that, just 2 years ago, I think, where you do the ADEX. There was a REB, WREB, if you remember. So there was a WREB exam. Then after the REB, CDCA, you sit in the state you want to practice. But now I think the ADEX is a federally one license, which is I love because
that's better.
yeah, exactly.
Does Sacramento campus has night clinics as well?
I do not know the answer for that because the reason is the first years has not started the clinic yet. So that's something I need to ask eventually the faculty that once first years will go to second years and they will start the clinics, if they will be having the night clinics or not.
Does UOP consider holistic approach for acceptance, considering GPA, TOEFL, and attempts?
Yes, exactly. So that's why if you have a little low GPA, a little low TOEFL, or some attempts, then it's not the end of the world because GPA and all of that matters, yes. But in if in a big picture, they want a student who is hardworking, nice, teachable, respectful, all of those things, because they can't teach you the other stuff. They cannot teach you to be kind. They cannot teach you to be nice. That's something you have to have inside of you, right?
Is the total cost of IDP program different in both campus?
No, it's the same.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. I got accepted to UNLV, and can you help me with the pros of UOP over UNLV?
Well, to be honest, I don't really know the UNLV Las Vegas pros. I mean, I told you all about the UOP pros.
UOP.
Right?
Yeah. Now it's your.
Talk to someone from the UNLV, and here you go. Now you got the whole comparison. The one thing I know about Las Vegas is it's so if you want to go this route where you want to financially you want to save some money and that's your number one goal, then that's your answer. If money is not the problem, you need to learn and you need to make sure that your skills are 100%. And once you graduate, you're confident that you can do anything. Then then don't worry about money side. Just come to UOP. I would say that.
How many interviewees, and how many spots are there?
I do not know the exact interviewees. I know about my class that there were 150 interviews or interviewees, and 27 were selected. But that was when Sacramento was not there. Now we have 27 of San Francisco and 30 of Sacramento. So that definitely double the interviewees, I would say.
Hmm. Yeah. Are there any on-campus work opportunity?
Yes. Remember I told you about the tutor. So
That's
after
paid.
exactly, that's paid. So you actually get paid for it. And you actually can apply to get Social Security, the work visa, and all that. So you can actually teach as a tutor and get paid for it.
Nice.
Mhm.
Safe is the area around the school.
So, okay, here's the thing. I'm from Chicago. It's, the worst place in America, right? I personally, yes, there's some homeless population out around, but I personally think that it's safe. So, aesthetically, if you look, you probably, you're not going to enjoy the view. I understand. But is it safe? Yes. Because, there are a couple of streets. All you need to do in a couple of weeks, you would know that which street to avoid, especially at night. And that's only so, when you're walking around, you just don't run into, those homeless tents and everything. But where I'm from, you don't have a lot of homeless issue, but I'd rather have a homeless person on my way than someone who has a gun and about to attack me. Make sense?
Yeah.
So in Cisco, we never had that kind of issue, that kind of problem. And there are only, I think, two streets. We all know at this point, I think everyone's going to tell you avoid the Tenderloin. So once you avoid those two streets, the rest of the whole city is pretty safe.
Hmm. So based on your experience, what do you feel makes an ideal UOP candidate for the IDS program?
I think now since we talked about all of this, I don't think there's ideal, right?
Ideal.
Yeah, no ideal. I think now since we have 30 over there and 27 over there, they want just a general of a pot where they want a little bit of everything. So like we discussed before, the one common denominator in all of us are you have to be respectful, you have to be nice, you have to make sure that you're not an asshole. Sorry, pardon my language. And just those kind of things. If you're a nice person, if you want teachable, you are excited and you want to learn and you want someone's help to get you to that level, I think that's all it is. Rest is, of course, we all come from different background. Demographics are is a key. Diversity is a key. In my class, there are 7 different countries, and now I think the new class they hired. There were, I think, 9 different, countries that the students were from, and this class, your class, I think they have 12 different countries. So diversity also plays a role in that too.
Yeah. So it's like a mix of luck and your hard work experience. And you can see it across an interview, like how that person is presenting themselves. Like, are they teachable? Are they moldable?
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah. So is it a good idea to mention during the interview that I was waitlisted last year? And could you please share any tips for previously waitlisted candidates?
If you're waitlisted last year, they know that already. And if you want to bring it up, it's totally fine. There's no hard and fast rule. You can always say, "Oh yeah, I was waitlisted again." You can bring it up because sometimes it is maybe the faculty, they might. So the whole point of this is that waitlist. If you're going to bring it up, is going to give you another opportunity to talk more about it and connect, right? And I think that's what it is. The more icebreakers you have, the more stuff you have to talk in your interview, the better. So if you think there's extra good point where you can talk more and connect with your interviewer, why not?
And does UOP have residency program?
Yes, we do. We have actually a great endo program and an ortho program.
Does the UOP?
I'm sorry, pediatrics.
Oh,
Pediatrics. Yeah.
so 3?
So 3. Hopefully, I'm not missing out any. I'm probably going to get an email like, Leo, you forgot about it.
Yeah. So does the UOP curriculum have an implant placement module, or is it only
No,
the
I just got a message. Oral surgery too. I'm sorry. Yeah. So here we go. 4 programs.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. So the implant placement module, do you get to place implants?
Yes, but with the help of course, the faculty supervision and everything. So once again, you have to show that you
Interest.
exactly. So if you are not in class, you have not shown your face to the faculty, and you have not presented your treatment plan, your treatment planning, then the day of the surgery, if you come in and be like, hey, by the way, who are you again? Oh, I'm Leo. It's my patient. I want to put an implant. They're not going to let you put an implant, right? So you have to assist certain implant surgeries first. You have to do the presentation. You have to talk to from start till the end. You have to work with the same faculty. And then after a couple of cases and assisting, you get to place your one implant too.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Once you graduate from the school, will the job opportunity be really narrowed down for international students?
No, actually, it's the opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
You will agree, yeah, right, Yamini?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are more confident than you think we are. So I hope I'm not making anyone mad out there, but the traditional students, once they graduate, all they have done is 50 fillings, 3 endos, 4 extractions, and now they're out in real life. They are really scared. So once they go for a job in the job interview, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to do fillings and crowns, and right now this is what I want to do for the next 2 years." So that's where we come in and our experience come in. So if you have an experience and you can negotiate what kind of dentistry you want to do, you have better success. You have better chances of success to not only negotiate your better salary, but also the way you want to do your dentistry. Because after DDS, if your name says DDS, you can do anything you want. It's what they tell you is if you are competent enough to do it, you can.
Yeah, you basically have to sell yourself, sell your experience that you have. And
Yeah. Exactly.
Does the school provide any transportation services from the campus to the
resident hostel? So that's what I'm talking about. San Francisco do not have a resident hostel. San Francisco campus, we all have to live private. But Sacramento does have a resident housing, and that's walking distance from school, so there's no bus needed. But for us, for example, me, I take the public transport from Daly City all the way to school every day.
Use a BART?
BART, yes. It's actually not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. Okay. Does UOP prefer people from Bay Area?
No, I think it's the people that prefer UOP because they are from the Bay Area. Let me repeat it. UOP does not want you. You want UOP because you live in the Bay Area. Make sense?
Yeah. Does mentioning the number of invites from other schools make a difference?
No, not really. They all know that UOP is not the one school you applied, right? Let's be honest. They know that students have applied other schools too. Just when you telling them about the other invites, just don't be too cocky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if they ask the question, did you get an invite from any other school? What should be the answer if someone actually got an invite from other school?
Just be honest. Just be honest.
And how to answer a question like, why should we prefer you over other candidates? Basically, why should I pick you?
I think that's more like a personal question. And I usually, this is where I come in, with those interview preps, because there are a lot of people out who are taking a lot of money and doing so-called interview preps, but my way is a little different. I don't just answer the question until I know you personally. I read your SOP, I read your CV, and I have talked to you one-on-one. That's when I know exactly how you should answer this question, because every student's questions answers are different. So when I coach my students about how to answer this, that's because I know their background, I know their CV and their SOP, And then utilizing that information, you answer that question, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely like an individualized answer for each candidate, right?
Yeah, not like a default answer. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you have the chance to do ortho cases?
We do have ortho rotations, but in just a couple of weeks, let's be honest, ortho takes time, right? 2 years, 3 years. So even if you do, I would say months and months of rotation in ortho, you cannot do ortho um, um, like one patient, basically. If that was our case.
Yeah.
What about you, Yamini? I'm kind of curious. Do you guys do ortho cases? No.
No, I haven't started it. So my school starts January.
Oh, I see. We have a rotation in ortho where you get to learn about like how things are done, and you assist in certain cases, but you cannot fit the case because you need 2-3 years to complete start to
Yeah.
finish.
And can you give us an insight? What would be the cost of living in San Francisco region per month as a UOP student?
All right. So I mean, it depends. Like, do you wanna eat out, and do you wanna take a bus, or do you want to drive? Do you want to live in a luxurious apartment? Or so there's always a range. I mean, if you want to save $2,400 to $3,000 for a 1-bedroom to 2-bedroom apartment, you can find it. Now, I live with my wife, so I cannot have a roommate. But there are some students who actually get a 2-bedroom apartment for $3,200, and then they divide. So all of a sudden, you have $1,500. But now you have, and some people don't want a roommate, so you pay $2,500 to $3,000. Then, of course, the bills and the groceries and everything. But that's why we all have student loans, right?
Yeah. Yeah, true. San Francisco is expensive. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's the second most expensive city in the country.
Mm.
So I mean, New York is the most expensive.
Yeah. How about community clinic exposure?
We do have a lot of community clinic rotations. Mine will be coming in October, actually, end of October. We have a lot of extramural rotations. We go to different community clinics, and I think 1 to 2 week. And there's a hospital rotation. So you will be rotating in those clinics. By the time you graduate, you will have an experience of the community outreach and community programs too. Yeah.
Does the school has community reach out program? I think that's the same question.
Yeah. So yes, the answer is yes. Exactly.
Okay, yeah, that's the question. Like, if you guys have any questions, you can post. Like, we'll do 5 more minutes.
Yeah, let's do 5 more minutes. Yeah. But I just want to say, I know those who have been invited, that just keep your cool. You guys got this. I'll be there at school too. If you do want to reach out to me about any specific question or something, I'll try to help you as much as possible. I am helping a couple of students already, so I might not have enough time to give individualized attention to all of you, but I'll try my best to at least respond to you and guide you in the right direction, if that's okay. We have a couple of more questions coming up too, and then 7:30. Let's end it. Sounds good?
Yes. So, are there any extra costs we need to pay to school apart from that mentioned in the website?
No, but the living expense is not covered, so that's all tuition. So, school side is all covered, but besides that, I mean, if living expenses, that's going to be separate. I think that's your question, right?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Will Sacramento campus also have similar clinical exposure, hospital rotation as SF? Rotations, yes. Clinical exposure, they have the clinic already set up, patients already coming in. So I personally think the clinical exposure is, if not the same, better. Because, like I said, more patients, less students.
How does the written exam happen for virtual participants?
Just like you're going to be online, and you will click on the link, paper is going to pop up, and you start working, I think.
Does the school have a cosmetic dentistry program?
We don't have a cosmetic dentistry program as it is, but we have Aesthetic Dentistry Society, where we so far bring a lot of guests like Stevenson, Marshall Henson, Dr. Appa, and bring them for lunch and learns and hands-on courses too. Dr. Stevenson did a 2-day aesthetic veneer hands-on course at UOP.
Uh, what is most unique? I think we talked about it. I'll post the recording soon on YouTube and our
Yeah.
Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah. Those who missed out, don't worry. This is going to be on the YouTube and Instagram, so you can always go back to it.
yeah. Does the visa status of the student play a role in getting an acceptance?
Nope. Once again, they
Yeah.
want a good dental student, and they will help you get the rest of the paperwork. Don't worry.
Hmm. So is there a time limit for written exam?
Yes, there was a time limit. I don't remember how much was it. I think it was 15, 20 minutes. It was,
Okay. Attempts and low GPA. I think we talked about it.
yeah. If you already got an invite from UOP, that means they didn't care about your low GPA and BD attempts. See what I'm talking?
Yeah. Are there any challenges you face going to UOP?
I don't really know what challenges you're talking about. I think the biggest challenge is going to, I would say, just a dental school. UOP, I would say fill in the blank. The same challenges could be for UCSF, same would be for USC, same UIC, but UOP does not have specific challenges. No.
So last year I was waitlisted. This year I didn't get an invite. Last year I was told that I will get invite this year.
Yeah. I know. This is one of those things, like, I wish I had a magic ball and I can tell you exactly why, but I really don't know why. Maybe DM me separate, so I can at least look at your SOP and CV, and maybe I can guide you. There might be something that we can change a little bit and switch it up, and you can apply next year. Once again, I got into my third cycle, and always remember, like, sometimes when things are not working out for a certain school, there's always another state, another school that's going to work out for you. Okay.
So written exam for in-person will be on computer or handwritten?
The written exam for in-person will be on computer or handwritten. I don't know. Because we had the online thing, so not really sure. Maybe paper, pen. I don't know.
Maybe email them, and I think this is.
Yeah, I think the administration assistant will guide you on that.
Yeah. Longer the interview, is it considered it went well or is it bad?
Longer is the best. The longer, and if the interviewer is speaking more, that means it's going in good direction. If it's short and you're speaking more, you're talking more, that means it's not going good.
Okay. Will we get an opportunity to talk to Sacramento batch? Maybe that's.
I think that's Yamini. You should have this, right?
Yeah, maybe that's something we can think about in future.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you so much for this opportunity, Yamini. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining, to all of you, and thank you for your questions too. Like I said, my Insta is Random Tooth Guy. Go ahead and just message me over there if there's any other things or any questions you want to talk. But special thanks to Yamini, to you, for having me here.
Special thanks to you. Like, it's wonderful. Yeah, I got a chance to learn a lot from you.
Definitely. And January, good luck for that.
Yes.
Thank you. Really, really busy. Okay.
Yeah, I wish you continued success in your journey as well.
Of course, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.